from the video that we posted on our YouTube account and on our website.
That has not changed that.
The Obama administration says we showed up.
That missing portion covered a series of questions about U.S. negotiations with Iran.
Is it the policy of the State Department where the preservation of the secrecy of secret negotiations is concerned to lie in order to achieve that goal?
James, I think there are times where diplomacy needs privacy in order to progress.
The specific request was made to excise that portion of the briefing. We do not know who made the request to edit the video or why it was made. They tried to pursue it, but I mean, it was 3 years ago. And the individual who took the call just simply doesn't have a better memory of it. And there were no rules, no regulations in place that prohibited this. There was a deliberate request, that this wasn't a technical glitch.
This wasn't a technical glitch. They don't know who made the call to request it, and the investigation is stopping, according to the State Department, about this editing of the video. Jen Psaki, who's now the White House Communications Director, was spokesperson at the time at the State Department, released a statement. I had no knowledge of, nor would I have approved any form of editing or cutting my briefing transcript on any subject while at State Department. I believe deeply in providing the press as much information on important issues as possible. This is starting to percolate around the media. Washington Post Glenn Kessler just tweeted out, speaking as a former diplomatic reporter, states removal of James Rosen, FNC's Q&A was outrageous, and there are many others weighing in at this hour. Just learning about it this afternoon. We're back with the panel. Chuck.
Well, you know, as I look at this, the scandal is not that somebody from a podium would lie or mislead to protect a sensitive diplomatic mission. That has happened before. We are all living in the real world. We know that goes on. What is a little bit new and different, and I kind of agree with my colleague Glenn Kessler, outrageous, is that they would edit this in that way after the fact. And watching Jen Psaki at the podium, even answering the question from James Rosen, made me wonder, whatever happened to no comment? You know, instead of fumbling for some sort of formula where she could give a non-denial denial, she could just say, no comment, no comment, no comment, and she couldn't bring herself to do that. Very strange.
Tucker, what about the fact that the investigation's over, we're going to move forward, it's not going to happen again, but one, we don't know who made the call to edit it.
No, we don't.
Two, the person apparently forgot, like it was, you know, they just forgot who it was, who made the call.
Poor Admiral Kirby, watching him in this position, superior guy, certainly smart enough to know the difference between right and wrong, long, pretty impressive career, I would say, at the Pentagon, and he's in this position of defending, in effect, the indefensible. This is not just, I mean, I agree with Chuck completely. Lots of duplicity takes place in statecraft, probably has to, but this is an attack on history, on reality itself. This is expurging what actually happened, a physical record of an exchange. By the way, if you set out to expunge every inartful response Jen Psaki has ever given, that would take an entire federal department to achieve. Like, it would just never end. So, but the fact that they even attempted that tells you everything about their mindset. This doesn't fit into the categories they believe the public should see, therefore they're expunging it? That's insane.
Well, the answer about why they couldn't remember and how long it's been reminded some today of a previous exchange with another former administration official.
They tried to pursue it, but I mean, it was 3 years ago. And the individual who took the call just simply doesn't have a better memory of it. And there were no rules, no regulations in place that prohibited this.
Did you also change attacks to demonstrations in the talking points?
Maybe. I don't really remember.
You don't remember?
Dude, this was like 2 years ago. We're still talking about the most mundane
it is the thing
process
that everybody is talking about.
We're talking about the process of editing talking points. That's what bureaucrats do all day long.
That was Tommy Vitor on the Benghazi issue.
Isn't that when he called you dude?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I like that part the best. Look, this incident is so appalling, it's almost comical. In the old Soviet Union, if Stalin decided he didn't like you, you disappeared, but then you were airbrushed out of all of the pictures, the photographs that had been taken in the past. And this was a source of a lot of amusement in the West. The old joke was, everywhere else it's impossible to predict the future. In the Soviet Union, impossible to predict the past. This is now happening in the U.S. This is truly this amazing story. And remember, they try to pass it off as a glitch. So that was either an obvious lie or sort of a lame attempt at a cover-up. And I love what Kirby had to say today, the State Department spokesman. He said this was not and is not in keeping with State Department's commitment to transparency. Well, no kidding, Sherlock. When you actually lie about deleting history, that is not transparent. The real story is, why are they pretending that they can get away with the passive? A request was made. Well, why can't you find out who made it? There are only a finite number of people there. This is important to find out. There's a big deal.